All the best. See you soon. Well, joining me now for more on this, Kirsten Powers, a columnist with the Daily Beast and a Fox News contributor, and David Webb, host of the David Webb Show on SiriusXM Patriot and co-founder of Tea Party 365. So no sooner does this woman come out with Gloria Allred, and I mean, the viewers rip on Gloria, but she's represented some questionable characters, but she's also done a lot of good. So, take her out of it. So she comes forward with Gloria Allred, and now the Cain campaign is unleashing on this woman, saying, what I said before about her money problems and that she's lying. And Kirsten, what's the bottom line? What are we to make of this?
It's hard to know because there are only two people, right, that were involved in this. And I think, some people look at this and they say, I don't know what you would do, Megan, but if I was in that situation, if somebody did what, put their hand up my skirt and pushed my head down, someone would be in the hospital and it wouldn't be me, and also everyone would know about it. The idea that only a couple people were told, it's the type of thing that I think, I would have told a lot of people about it because it's basically an assault. And so I think that raises, some people think, this doesn't quite sound right. And Martha was asking a lot of questions as well. Wait, so you got on a train, you went out to dinner. This isn't really what you do when you're looking for a job. So I think there's that. At the same time, I think what we just heard from the radio host does corroborate what she said in terms of going up and talking to him. I mean, to me, it sounds like she was perhaps confronting him about it.
Yeah, and was determined to. David, before I bring you in, I just want to follow up with Kirsten on this. We're on this sort of women's issue to begin with. But don't you think, Kirsten, to play devil's advocate for her, a lot of women have been put in the uncomfortable position. Forget the, pushing your head down. Okay, that's beyond. But with the business of, he upgraded her to a suite, according to her, and, said, let's meet at the hotel and bought drinks. Sometimes women are put in uncomfortable situations and they try to sort of just deal with it. They try to sort of put on a smile and deal with it because she was looking for a job. She's going to play the game to try to get the job. And then, obviously, according to her, he took it too far. But could you forgive that piece of it?
Yes, but I think if there's any teachable moment in this, and we never talk about it, is that women shouldn't put themselves in these situations. You don't look. He's a married man. I mean, what is she doing? What is he doing? Going out to dinner, going for drinks, going back to his office. Why are they in the car together? I think people have to be much more careful in these situations. That doesn't justify his behavior if he did this. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that and then I think if something does happen, you need to let it be known at the time, because otherwise it puts us in a position where we really don't know what happened, and it's not inconceivable that somebody would make something up.
And we can't recreate the events all these years later, David. That's the problem for Cain, whether this is true or not. And it, it's getting more attention because she's the fourth of four, to make reports. How can we know now? So much time has passed. It's so much more helpful if you have a contemporaneous report.
Right, and I'll go back to Kirsten's point that if this was, she described as sexual assault, why wasn't this brought out? And look, I understand the embarrassment factor. There are women who say, coming out of that, how do I deal with it? But something doesn't add up. So I look at it forensically, Megan. Put it all out in the open. If you upgraded her hotel, put that record out. My suggestion to Herman Cain is this. If you are what you said about never having sexually assaulted a woman, then since it's not an admissibility issue into court, have a lie detector test challenged.
Oh, boy.
Go to her and say, two of us, we release the questions and the results.
Are you kidding me? He can kiss his presidential chances goodbye if he sits down for a lie detector test with this woman.
Here's my point, Megan. It's about challenging for the truth, not necessarily attacking her. Don't go out and attack her. Don't talk about her
he's got to come out and
problems.
say, it's false or it's not false, right? Doesn't he, Kirsten? Because
he's
if it is
said
as she claims it is, if he said... After doing this to her, the actions you described, you want a job, right? I mean, that's blatant quid pro quo sexual harassment. If he did that, there's no way. I mean, you tell me. If he did that to this woman, that's it. You can't be the president of the United States if he did that, can you?
Right, but if he didn't.
Absolutely not. He's finished. I mean, he'd absolutely be finished, and he should be finished, and it's despicable behavior if it, in fact, happened. Like I said, it's very difficult in these situations. And even the idea, people will say, oh, well, other people said things. Well, other people said things that actually, honestly, some of them don't add up either.
Right.
And so you start to say, like, oh, so now is this what we do? We just have people come out and make accusations?
Right. And there was a report today,
know?
David, and I got to get a quick answer on this. And by the way, There was Paula Jones, so maybe you can be president after you do. But listen, there was a report today. The fifth accuser comes out and says, he stiffed me with the bill at dinner. I mean, how far could you take this?
Well, that's the problem. And I think, America's become inoculated to this. We've had John Ensign, Mark Sanford, Larry Craig, Foley, Clinton, Kennedy. How many of these things? So this is why I say treat it as, let's get all the records out. Let's get the NRA records out about the earlier accusers. They've opened up the idea, taken off the penalty. Let's put this all out there, and how Cain handles this is going to affect what happens down the line. It'll affect his favorabilities. His unfavorables are rising. That's the reality of this kind of situation. But he has got to handle this directly and well.
Well, and he will. Today, they say he's going to have a presser at 5 p.m. Kirsten, David, thank you both so much.
Sure,
thank
Megan.
you.